What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Man, it is gonna be a hot one today, you guys. But you guys can see, man, we already got the undercoating done on the car, and next up we got to do the transmission tunnel. That's what this video is about, you guys. We have teamed up with DEI. I love their products, and they have sent us some goodies. We're gonna do the transmission tunnel to protect that thing from the heat that you're going to be absorbing from the motor, the transmission, and not to come into the cab. But as a matter of fact, let me show you guys real quick, because we've also done the firewall. We sent it up to my buddy Jose's shop and he painted that up for us. Let me show you guys what this thing looks like. Not too shabby, huh, fellas? Yeah, man, this thing looks so freaking good. Nice, clean, satin black. This thing is almost ready for us to put the body back on. But of course, we got to do the transmission tunnel. That's what this video is about, you guys. Let me show you guys what they sent us. Here, you guys, we have the DEI heat control tape. I want to say this is the tape for the seams we're going to be using there. That stuff there. And this bad boy right here, if you guys need the part number or a link, I will put it down in the description below, you guys. But this is the transmission tunnel kit. Basically, you're going to end up having to kind of fab it up yourself, or cut it, I should say. It's not much to it, but it should come with a sticky backing that should adhere right to the transmission tunnel. So let's open this thing up and see what we got. Well, that's what we got, you guys, in the packages. It looks like we're going to end up having to make a template for our tunnel. So they recommend making a template out of cardboard or something like that. Maybe we're going to use some of that poster board we use for the different templates that we make. So we're going to end up doing that. We're going to need some scissors. Of course, this thing has an adhesive backing, but you want to make sure that the surface is really clean before we put this stuff on. So let me go get some templates, or I should say templates. Let me go get some poster board, and maybe we can start making a template for the actual transmission tunnel, so we can get our shapes and our turns and all that good stuff. Not to mention, they give us a little bit of seam tape as well for the those edges and things like that, so we can mask up those edges as well. Alright, you guys, I think we got a good starting point, a good template right here. Well, we're going to start off right here at this seam here, kind of something like that. Give us a good starting point, a good rough cut, at least on the new material from DEI. Something like that, guys. What do you guys think of that? I think we can make that work right there. And then once we get to this area right here, we can just kind of make a different piece for that. But I think that should work pretty well there. Let's cut that out. I think we got our template pretty much cut out for the most part. Now what I did do, I noticed that my tunnel kind of has a transition right there. You see I put some like cuts there to kind of just do a stress relief on the material itself. so that way it's not fighting you, and it's gonna adhere to the surface with some stress relief cuts. Depending on your transmission tunnel, you might want to do the same. But we got some rollers too, just kind of the same rollers you would use on like the sound mat stuff. Same thing, same concept. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit it with some prep all, you guys. We're gonna clean the surface up real good, so that back sticking stuff that comes off the, I should say, the DEI material adheres to the actual tunnel as best as possible. So let me clean this thing up, and then we'll see if we can get this thing tacked in or put in, whatever you want to call it. Let's go. All right, here goes nothing, guys. We're gonna peel the back off of this thing and see. It is a big piece, so it's gonna be a little tricky to get this thing on there straight. So take your time. We'll put one section off a little bit. We'll leave that half on so it doesn't stick too much, but we're going to try to do our best to evenly guide this in here. I think I'll start with one corner. Oh yeah, that stuff is sticky, guys. Go to there. Looking good, you guys, looking good. So I think we got this side pretty much done. Other than the seam tape, we're gonna wait to do the seam tape towards the end. But now we're gonna do this little section right here. I already kind of got it pre-cut out. I made my template earlier. This should be a pretty good fit overall, something like that. Obviously, we'll put our seam tape right here to connect the two areas right there. But I will say this, I can see why they want you to make a template, because this stuff, guys, it is like hard to cut. Like, this thing is super thick. You can see the foam, the padding, the adhesive, and the actual shield. So it's really thick, it's hard to cut, and it's once you get it on the car and glued down and everything, it's really hard to cut. So you definitely want to be as accurate as possible when you make your template, and then test fit everything. Triple test fit it, because cutting it on the car, it's a nightmare. Like, I tried to use just a razor blade and it couldn't do it. I had to use a super sharp blade to kind of just trim it a little bit, but you can do it. It's possible, but it's difficult for sure. But so I think we got our guy where we want it. We're gonna take the backing off of this, stick this on, and then we can come back with the seam tape. Oh my god, you guys, it is freaking hot. The camera overheated, so I don't know how much of that we got on there. We finished all the seam seal tape stuff. That's all good to go. Let me see what's the temperature. Hey Siri, how hot is it outside?
The National Weather Service has issued an excessive heat warning until tomorrow. It's currently clear and 106 degrees.
106, guys. The high today is 108. Not too bad. It's about 2 o'clock, but it's hot, man. I've been out here most of the day, but I think we got everything done. Let me show you guys what this thing looks like. It looks freaking sweet. Everything is pretty much done. We went ahead and just seam sealed all the edges right here, mainly where the transmission's at and then the engine's at, because I felt like the edge of this thing, let me show you over here where I didn't do it. Like right in here, these edges are really sharp. Like any of these fine edges are super sharp. So what I did is I put some of that tape in the edges where I felt like your hand would end up like sliding in and out from working on the transmission, or when we do our tranny cooling lines, or even the actual cable, the shifter cable, because the last thing you want to do is stick your hand in there and it get cut. Just those edges are super sharp, so we went ahead and just sealed up all the edges to just kind of more of a safety thing than anything. But I don't think you really need it. If you look back here is pretty nice. We actually had an extra and we are able to finish up this area right here. You really didn't need it because this side right here is the actual drive shaft. Like the drive shaft will end up riding right here. You don't really need it, but that's why we don't even need to seam seal anything down here, because this is all actually one piece. We had enough to do that, so we went ahead and did it. But that looks freaking sharp, you guys. Tell me what you think. Put it down in the comments below. That should definitely keep some of that unwanted heat out of the cab for sure. Well, you guys, I think that's gonna do it for this video. I will put all the stuff that we use in this video today down in the description below so you guys can easily find it, man. Big shout outs to DEI for this great product they have made, and that's a big game changer. If you think about it, don't even have to be this tunnel here. It can be on a Camaro, it can be on obviously another Chevelle, you name it, Nova. That stuff will work no matter what transmission tunnel you have, or even tranny. If you're running a stick shift, perfect. I wish we had this in the Frankenstein, because you can feel the heat coming and radiating, especially on a manual, because you got that open gearbox for the shifter coming through, that hole I should say, and it makes a huge difference. I am excited to see how well this stuff works. We still got to cut out the small hole for our cable, for our shifter cable. Well, that's pretty much it, you guys. Again, I will link all that stuff down in the description below. Check it out. But you guys got to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell for notification. And you guys already know, stay wrenching.